For over a century, England ruled the seas. Not with bigger guns, but with a secret no rival could match. They always knew exactly where they were. How? Let me show you. On a black October night in 1707, 4 British warships smashed into the rocks off England. As many as 2,000 sailors drowned in the freezing dark. They were not lost to a storm they could not survive. They were lost because no one on board knew exactly where they were. For centuries, this was sailing's deadliest problem. A ship could cross an entire ocean, yet have no reliable idea how far east or west it had come. Finding your latitude, how far north or south you were, was simple. Sailors measured the sun and the stars, as they had for 1,000 years. But longitude, your east-west position, hid a brutal secret. To find it, you needed to know the exact time in 2 places at once. The Earth turns 15 degrees every hour. So, if you knew the time back home and the time where you stood, the gap between them revealed your position. There was just one impossible catch. No clock on Earth could keep accurate time on a moving ship. Rolling waves, changing temperatures, and salty air destroyed every clock ever built. Over a long voyage, even the finest lost or gained many minutes. And a few lost minutes meant being dozens of miles off course, sailing straight toward the rocks that had already killed so many. In Sid, the British government offered a staggering fortune to anyone who could solve it. £20,000, a king's ransom in its day. The greatest minds in Europe were certain the answer lay in the stars. Astronomers spent decades mapping the moon, convinced only the heavens could guide a ship home. But the man who would finally crack it was not an astronomer at all. He was a self-taught carpenter from a quiet English village named John Harrison. Harrison had built his very first clock entirely out of wood. He had no formal training, only relentless patience and a strange, stubborn belief. He believed the answer was not in the sky, but in a machine. A clock so perfect it could carry home time across any ocean on Earth. For years, he labored in obscurity, inventing entirely new mechanisms that no rolling wave and no changing temperature could throw off. Decades of work led to his masterpiece. Not a towering machine, but a device the size of a large pocket watch, later known simply as H4. In 1761, his creation was carried aboard a ship bound for Jamaica, on a voyage that would test it against the full fury of the open Atlantic. After 81 days at sea, the watch had lost only a few seconds. It was far more accurate than anyone had ever dreamed possible. Yet, the astronomers who controlled the prize refused to believe it. For years, they withheld his reward, insisting a mere clockmaker could not have won. Only after the king himself stepped in did Harrison finally receive his due, an old man, at last honored for changing the entire world. Soon, every great voyage carried a copy of his clock. Captain Cook mapped the Pacific with one, calling it his trusted, never-failing guide. And the idea behind it never died. Every satellite guiding your phone today still finds your position using one thing above all: perfect, precise time. A lonely carpenter had solved the impossible and quietly built the world we navigate by.